what are the best heroes to lead your armies in order to progress quickly in Warcraft Rumble and have an easier time both for new players as well as later in the game for PvP or PvE. There are a few that are just too good to not talk about today. So first, we're going to get right into it. In my opinion, Sneed is one of the best hero, especially in the beginning of the game and for PvE. The reason being, he will give you an additional 2 gold when a siege damage unit destroys a tower, captures the meeting stones, or opens a chest. Now, there is a lot of this, especially in PvE levels. There are obviously a lot of towers, but just meeting stones and chests, which respawn periodically, and a meeting stone, your enemy can capture it and then you can capture it back. So every time, that's an extra 2 gold. Now, on top of that, Sneed himself is a very tanky siege damage unit, which you can put down a lane and he will do a lot of AoE splash damage to any units that are on the ground, as well as he will do a lot of siege damage to towers and such. Now, on top of this bonus, which obviously gold is so important in this game and will really make you win a lot of matchups by having more troops, you can get a talent that makes it so it's an additional 2 gold when Sneed himself is the unit doing the capture. So here you can see basically when any siege unit captures anything, there will be bonus gold. But if Sneed himself does it and has a talent, it will be basically 4 gold. So in this case, this unit here give plus 2 gold because he is a siege unit. But this unit, if you have the talent, will give you 4 gold here. It shows plus 1, but the actual number with this talent is 4. So every time Sneed captures a meeting stone, 4 gold. Captures a chest, 4 gold. Captures a tower, 4 gold. As you can see, 4 gold every time is huge. It's an entire unit. Himself only costs 5 gold. You put it on the field. He captures the chest. He gets you 4 gold. It pays himself completely. And on top of that, if you get the chest, you get extra gold. So he basically becomes a free tank that got you a lot of bonuses. Now, this bonus of 2 gold does not need him to be in the field. So you can have another unit and him, Sneed, being still unplayed on the field, and you will still get those bonuses. And then obviously when you want him to get this talent, you get the 2 gold extra. That is just massive. It's just an incredibly high amount of gold. For PvE levels, when things get captured, you capture them back. You're just getting so much value. So it's really just a very, very powerful hero. It's really hard to lose with this hero and this talent specifically. Now, his other talents, they're not bad. This one gains level when he triggers Sneed before greed. So in PvP, I could see this becoming good too, as your siege units are capturing and your Sneed gets higher and higher level. Otherwise, you can also gain the minor trait on him, which is good, but nothing beats this in my opinion. It's just too much gold. I put Sneed in lanes, and then sometimes what I do is behind him, I will be putting a shaman like this, who also heals him, and I have the thing that makes it so that it puts a shield on him, so he gains armored, which means that he doesn't die very easily. He gets heal, he has range support. He captures really anything as long as you don't get opposition, and the only opposition that really kills him is like costly or ranged units, and then you can deal with them with things like this. We can drop behind. So there's a lot of things you can do, and I also have the Gargoyle in his deck because it's a siege unit that is incredibly powerful siege. It does solo towers and even bosses at times, so this goes very well with him. Also being flying makes it that it can have a little bit more avenue to do damage to your enemy, and this really, in my opinion, is one of the best hero you can get early on for progression, for PvE. And even PvP, he's still very decent. But it's too much gold to ignore, and it makes it really easy to progress with a hero like this. Next, I want to talk about Baron Rivendare, who is also incredibly OP right now, even especially in PvP. People have built decks around it that is just incredibly powerful. That is because his ability is Army of the Dead. Basically, skeletons spawn periodically. Even if he's on the field, not in the field, doesn't matter. The entire game, when you have Baron on your deck, or basically leading your deck, you will be having skeleton spawn at everything you have. So that includes your main tower, any tower you capture, as well as any meeting stone. There are levels where you're going to find 2 or 3 meeting stones, plus 2 or 3 towers. If you have even 2 or 3 of those, you will be spawning 3-4 skeletons every few seconds, every basic, I don't know how long it is, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, I'm not sure, but you can see these little skeletons, they're very weak, but they will be going in all the lanes that you have these things in. So not only do they provide a meat shield so that you can put like range unit beside and have a extra hit and basically make you win that lane, they'll also be providing free pressure in every single lane. They'll capture the chest, they'll capture the other meaning stones. There is just so much going on with these guys. They'll also kill the miners of your enemy. So it's just hard to beat something where you have tons of free unit in every lane just spawning and giving you a lot of control, a lot of income. It's just really, really powerful. I don't think I need to say much more. It's just in itself incredibly powerful. Now, Baron himself is also a tank. He's armored, he's fast. He does a lot of damage, as you can see here. He's just very, very good as a hero, as a unit. He costs 4. He does his job perfectly. He's worth the 4 on its own. And then on top of that, you do have some talents that will make him even more broken. So out of the options here, Chill of the Grave makes it so that it's mages instead of warriors. So the skeletons are ranged, which in itself is absolutely incredible because not only do they still provide like the same amount of skeletons, they're a bit of a meat shield, they still control all your lanes. But on top of that, they have range, which means they can counter some air units who are very squishy. These mages can still take them down. These will also take down any squishy unit on the enemy side because the skeletal mages do some decent damage still. So this will give you a lot of pressure. In this case, you would be basically spawning tanks in front of them. Then behind them accumulates 2 or 3 mages in the lane. You could get a very, very easy win just because of this on its own. This one gave skeletons bloodlust. Now, obviously, this is not bad, but the skeletons are so weak that I think this is one of the worst of the 3 talents. This one is the other one that can be very, very powerful. Basically meaning that you will sacrifice nearby skeleton to be healed. This works specifically with the Baron himself. So you put Baron in the lane, there's a skeleton that spawns behind him, they go up the lane, a second skeleton spawns. By the time they get to a tower, Baron will be obviously taking damage, killing the tower. Well, once he takes damage, he's going to use the skeleton to heal himself. And then a few seconds later, another skeleton comes from behind. He's low HP again, he's going to heal himself. This will make your Baron really tanky and really like invincible for a while. Obviously, it doesn't work always perfectly. There's a lot of counters to this, which is why I think Chill of the Grave is the best option. But this is another option that can make it very, very powerful for your Baron to basically just never die, push lanes, and get some very, very easy progression in PvP and in PvE. He's also a leader of the undead, which means that you have a lot of skeletons and unbound things you can cast. He works really well with basically everything. There's so many combos and combos you can do with him. He's just generally a very, very powerful hero, and the skeletons will give you so much map presence. You can build your deck around things that are not map presence because it's done for you for free. Now, another hero I want to talk about is going to be Tirion. He is probably one of the most free-to-play, beginner-friendly hero out there, being that he is a paladin who has healing. He's obviously a really strong hero for that because there is not a lot of healing in this game. So obviously this heals all nearby friendly units. You will see it here basically when you spawn him with units like the Footman. When he does take damage, he will heal like everyone. As you can see, he just heals twice. He heals very quickly and very often. So there's a lot of alliance units in this game that have like this, you know, a lot of units that spawn at once. He is perfect for them. Footman, the Rifleman as well with the Beast. This is really the kind of stuff that is really well with, and obviously other units as well. Just having a healer that goes around who's also a tank, who's also armored, which means he takes a lot less damage from physical damage. He is just very strong. There is really nothing wrong with him. He's the all-rounder. He'll tank your towers. He'll heal your units. He does very decent damage. So obviously he is a very, very powerful unit in any kind of way you can think of. The healing is pretty powerful as well, 415. And he's quite tanky as himself, you know, so a lot of HP. So really, there's really not much to talk about other than the fact that he's so powerful. He will carry your games by himself for a very long time. In PvP, you will need obviously to play the deck around a little bit because enemies can know when you have a healer, they'll use, you know, they'll drop a bomb or a spell or something. There's ways of countering him. But in PvE, he is absolutely unmatched because nobody can do anything about it because PvE, obviously, they're bots. He is not the cheat to beat every level instantly, but he just brings you a lot of value and makes it a lot easier. If you're struggling with a level, he can really be a solution to that. Now, his talents are also incredibly powerful. I think By the Light is one of the least favorable one. Heals the primary target for twice as much. Obviously, this can still be very good because if you have really tanky, really high HP unit, he will heal them more. But If you're spawning him with footmen and units that are weaker, where you're healing many of them, it's really not that good. The biggest thing about his heal is that it's AoE and he heals everybody, so it's good to have a lot of units with him. This can be a good thing in some builds, just not in the thing that I would think would be a good build right now. Consecrate regularly consecrates the ground damaging enemies, so he will put a AoE damage on the ground regularly. This is going to be very good, mostly against people who have a lot of small units, you know, like a snake with all these little eggs. There's, you know, kobolds, or another person who's playing alliance with like 4 or 5 footmen dropping all the time. This is the kind of stuff that will really be good against AoE packs. But other than having a lot of units in the enemy side, if the enemy is playing more tanky, bigger cost unit, flying units, this will be completely useless. So very situational, which is why I think Divine Shield is the most overpowered thing that you can put on Tirion. When he goes to 30% HP, he becomes immune for 5 seconds, absorbing all damage. That is incredible. Every enemy unit will be trying to attack. It won't do anything. He won't take any damage. Every one of your units will be still attacking with no problem. He's still going to be healing during this time. It's just incredible how much damage and tankiness he can do and he can take. So this is really, in my opinion, the best thing you can do. You put that on him. He's going to be unkillable. He'll go down the lane and tank the towers and tank all the units. Everything you have behind him will just do attacking for free. Just incredibly powerful hero, of course. So this is going to be one of your easy ways of progressing in the game if you unlock him. Sneed, him, and Baron, in my opinion, are the top 3 right now for new player, for PvE, and in some situation in PvP, they will also be incredible, but Baron is probably the best PvP unit here, hero for the 3 that I just mentioned. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Of course, every single hero in this game so far is good. There is nothing bad. You can build decks. There's units for all of them. There's so many ways of playing this game, and things are going to obviously evolve and change so much. These are just the heroes I think are the easiest to start with or to progress with without going too crazy about how to build your deck, because you don't need to be so optimized. They will all work well without doing so much effort in deck building. It'll just be more fun, casual play. So really good starter units for any kind of deck, PvE or PvP. I think these heroes are the best bet for the beginning. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Happy to answer anything, always, at any time. As well as make sure to subscribe, as I'm going to be making a lot of guides for this game in the coming weeks. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.